he know he started. So my friend Mark, can you wave? Marcos, can you wave? There you go, wave. There. Okay. He called me one day. I think he was here from the West Coast, and he called me early one Saturday morning. I don't even know if he remembers this. He called me early one Saturday morning. He was like, Toya. And a happily married man, by the way. Been married for years, and I don't know, 21 years, okay? And
but I just tell him who he is, though. We need to tell him who you are.
he said nah.
We are. This is the man. This man is no. I can't tell him because we probably you came from Queen City. You came from Queen City. Thank you, but I don't know if y'all know, but he was Suge Knight in the movie. I mean, he's been. Every time I look up, when I look at Big O Marcos,
Right there on screen.
on screen, Big O Marcos.
Yes. So he called.
He did a number.
Oh,
of
yeah, he did.
things.
You were sure. Everybody
You
knows
should.
who you are.
No, but I don't want to typecast you into that because you've done it way more. Than
Oh,
that.
of course, way
Right?
more. Of course, way more.
So, but I have to shout you out because
Yes.
you came from P-Funk,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we're proud of you.
We're very proud of you. And so he called me early one Saturday morning. He said, Toya, I gotta ask you a question. And I said, what's that? He said, what's going on? What is going on in relationships? What's going on with Black love? He said, I have a lot of female friends that keep calling me, asking me what's going on with men, and I don't know what's going on with men, and I'm asking you, Toya, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm single. I damn sure don't know what's going on. I said, I don't know. I said, but you know what? Why don't you come on the show and let's talk about it? And he did. He came on the show. Pretty Ricky was there that week too. So Pretty Ricky was there, Marcos was there, and we sat and we kind of went through it a little bit on what's going on, what he's seeing, what his female friends are telling him, things he's seeing. I'm assuming stuff you see with industry stuff, entertainers and all that stuff too. And we kind of went through it. And from there, I said, you know what? We need to do a series. And we need to have the guys speak openly. We need to have the ladies speak openly. And we need to speak from all aspects so that we really figure out what's going on. So B and I came up with how we're going to try to bridge the gap that seems to be happening. Because if you're on social media, you see a whole lot of stuff, you hear a whole lot of different kinds of conversations. And so we decided we want to have, like, the only way to bridge the gap and the only way to heal this divide is to start with the conversation, right? So it's the forbidden conversations. It's all the stuff that people don't want to say, or all the stuff you say in private and people don't say publicly, all the stuff men talk about in barbershops, all the stuff that women talk about in the beauty salons and just with their girlfriends, right? So it's like, let's put this all out in the open so we can figure this out so that we can create legacy and Black wealth and all those things, because we're not going to have it if we're not getting together. So that's where this, that's the origin story. That's where it came from.
And you guys realize it is a divide. Although we've had married couples, there is a lot of women and there are a lot of men, and I want to make sure we understand that we're not one-sided, right? So we are for the men and we are for the women. Okay. So there are a lot of women and there are a lot of men that are single, right? So we want to talk about some of the things that are plaguing our community, our Black community.
Right.
I'm gonna say that. Right. Our Black community. Right. Because we oftentimes do not see what others are going through, but we clearly, it's always on Front Street. Our relationships in the Black community are on Front Street. For whatever reason, we are calling each other out. And I'll give you an example of people that are separated. Just recently, you guys heard about, Cardi B and her husband, and you hear about, who else is there? Remy Ma and her husband, and they start putting everything out. And, there was a time when Remy Ma and Papoose was on Black Love.
They were a couple.
They were a couple. They were thriving. So the things that, they were. So we want to know.
Gemini, though, so.
Yeah. Bless her.
I don't do that. So I'm not saying that because my birthday was 2 years ago. I'm a Gemini, but I'm just saying she is too. So
we want to talk about those things that are causing a divide that are causing us not to be married,
Right.
that are causing the demise of our relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want to talk about all those things, and I don't like the public humiliation. Of course, I don't believe in social media knowing all your business, right? You let them know what you want to. But for whatever reason, we go to social media, that's a thing, and now we are looking at each other sideways.
Yes.
So that's it. That's our...
So that's what we talk. So we do a series. That's not all we talk about on the show, but it just so happens this is a series we did. We did originally 4 weeks with the guys, 4 weeks with the ladies, and then this time around we did 3 weeks with the guys and 3 weeks with the ladies. And they were some pretty good shows. So just to introduce our fellows right here to the right, I'm going to start off with Tashawn is the newest person that has joined this discussion, but this is the owner of the New York Times, everybody. And every time he comes on the show, he gives us a great word. So I asked him to be here today. Next to Tashawn is Fat Lace. That's Jason. Y'all see him up on the screen. He got beards and bald heads. He has his own show at the radio station. So that's our guy right there. We've been friends since the 5th grade. And then you got Trev on the end that everybody knows and loves, who is actually a relationship coach and author, written books on all of this. So he always comes on the show and he says something and everybody goes, oh, okay, all right, that's it. You know what I mean? So he has to be here today. So we did get some feedback from some of the younger people, and they said we talked about way too many things. We needed to narrow down our topics so we could really delve into it and so that everybody out here in the audience could really have an opinion. So instead of the 8 million topics we had, we have narrowed them down to 4 this time. And some of the feedback we got was we didn't hear enough from the gentlemen. That the ladies had so much to say last time, but the gentlemen weren't saying enough.
But I will say this. No, I love y'all. I do. But I do want to hear from the younger people, right? Because they are our next generation. And I want to hear some of the things that they are going through. Some of them are parents. Some of them are, dating or not dating. And I want them to talk too. So I just want everybody in the room to have their say, but I want to be enlightened about what's going on. Okay. What's going on in the world. Okay. I love y'all though.
Okay. All right. So here are our 3. You gotta get the 4.
Well, I gotta get the 4.
Okay. So here are our 3 topics tonight, and you guys can start pondering upon them and thinking about them. The first one we started 2 weeks ago when we were on the show with Coach Trev. And we were talking about impact versus effort, okay? And I want to continue that tonight because I want to hear all of your opinion on impact versus effort, and I'll preface it and then we'll go into it. That's the first one. The second one is going to be exploring relationship comparisons, and if that is a danger to your own relationship comparisons. And the third one is going to be, hold on, because I just lost it. The third one is going to be assumptions and unspoken desires within a relationship, okay? So that's going to be a good one too. And then what's the 4th one? Go ahead. Okay, we'll come back to the 4th one. All right. We'll come back to the 4th one. So for anybody that didn't see the show, I think it was probably up on one of these screens. But for anybody that didn't see the show a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned to Coach Trev and the ladies, because this was the ladies' show, there was a gentleman that said, when you are dating and you are trying to be with someone, there is impact versus effort. And effort is basically all the things that you are doing to try to be with said gentleman versus the impact that you actually have on him that makes him make decisions. And so, right, and the decisions to be with you, to do things for you, to settle down, to be in a committed relationship, all those things. So we went through it in detail, and one of the things that the gentleman said is that a lot of times, ladies, our effort comes out of desperation. So a lot of times when we're looking to be in relationships with gentlemen, we are doing too much. The effort part comes across as you feel like I'm doing all of these things because I like this man and this is how I feel and I want to show him this, that, or the other. But it doesn't read as that. It reads as desperation. It can also read as you must do this for everybody that you're dating or everybody that you're seeing or everybody that you're with. And there was a few different takes on that from the gentleman's side. So these are just for people who are dating, right? And there was a few different takes from that from the gentleman's side. And so I want to reintroduce that again tonight. Impact versus effort. And I would like the gentleman to speak on that from your perspective. Talk to the ladies about, what that means to you. Gentlemen. First. Who's going first? Somebody. It's the bottom. On the side. There you go.
I ain't going first.
So you said the mic.
I want to see if it works.
Trev, you start off.
Can you hear me? No.
Yep, we got you. Yep.
This your
Okay.
thing working.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
So I remember part of that conversation, effort versus impact.
Yes.
And the first thing that popped in my mind tonight is the idea that, you always heard that advice of be with the person that loves you more, right? Because it's like a safe way of being with someone. You know that they're probably not going to do you wrong. They want to be with you. They want you more. But what I learned from that is that actually cheats them, because if they love you more, they never get the chance to experience the feeling of somebody wanting them more, pursuing them. So in essence, you kind of want balance. You want somebody that wants you as much as you want them. That advice of be with the person that loves you more is like advice birthed from fear. Like someone got hurt and they were like, listen, marry the person that loves you more, trust me. But there's something missing from that. So when I hear the impact versus effort, you want to be careful. Like you do want to give a certain amount of effort, and sometimes you feel like maybe because of something in the past you want to withhold, like, well, I'm not going to do that again. And then that kind of cheats you out of the success in the next relationship, because you're not giving your full self to that person based on the failure from the past relationship. So you don't want to be in a position where you're not giving 100% effort, because you never get a chance to, when it doesn't work out, you can't go back to that guy or woman and say, oh, you know what, if it didn't work out, and they say, hey, I want to be with somebody else, or I want to move on and date someone else. You can't say, oh, wait, I'm sorry, I wasn't giving 100%, let's just start over. Like, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And so you don't want to withhold as far as the effort, but you do want to pay attention to the impact that you're having on this person. Because just giving constant effort, you don't get a gold star for that. You want to make sure that the person that you are giving this energy to, hoping that it turns into something, you want to pay attention logically, not just how you feel. Logically, is this having an impact on this person? Is this person doing what I expect someone to do or I want someone to do based on the person that I'm being? A lot of times, I think what we were saying before is that, let's just say women, it's women and men, but you're giving this effort and it's coming across as desperation, because if it was a confident person giving this effort and the response that you're getting from this effort is blah, if you were a confident person and you knew what you wanted, you wouldn't be sticking around too long giving that same effort. Like, you would at some point say, you know what, this doesn't logically make sense. The person that I say I want to be with is going to treat me this way, they're going to act a certain way. Of course, you can't paint it, it's not a painting, but you know the general idea of what you want or who you want to be in a relationship and the type of person that would bring that out of you. So that constant effort wouldn't be there if the impact wasn't there. And part of that is understanding before you go in, what does impact look like? It looks different in different men. So you can't just say, well, if a guy does this, that means he likes me. Not every guy is not the same. You want to have an idea of men, because a lot of us are very similar. So you want to have a general idea, but your goal in dating someone dating someone or going through that situationship, whatever you call it, is to kind of, as quick as you can, study this person, try to figure out what they want, what they need, and figure out if it's something that, what they need to be happy in a relationship, is this something that I can do, and do I even want to do it? You want to pay attention to them because it's not game, it's not being fraudulent. You kind of want to pay attention to your prey. If this is, you're hunting that person, not a woman, you're being approached, I get it. I'm not telling you, you gotta go out and chase this guy. But if this is your prey, you gotta study your prey. There's people who, there's hunters who hunt deer or bear. They will sit for hours just studying to see the pattern, see what's happening. So you know how to give this effort to this person, because you can't just think you're gonna give general effort to every single guy. That's how sometimes we come to the point and say, oh, she must do this for every guy. No, you wanna make it, I remember our first date, my wife, not my first date, a second date, I told her I like mangoes and cilantro. I was talking about some food or something. The second date, she had some mango chicken with cilantro and all that. So she clearly was paying attention. I know she doesn't do that for everyone, because every guy's not gonna tell you on the first or second date that they eat mangoes and cilantro. So my point is, when I'm thinking of the effort and impact, you have to give effort. Like, you don't think that you're gonna get this miraculous relationship and you're just gonna half-ass it. Like, you wanna be able to give your all, but at the same time, you will waste a lot of your life if you don't understand and recognize if your effort is making an impact on said person. So I don't want to talk.
I want to pause with, and if we were recording this, I would really want to pause with the, you don't get a gold star for effort. Because there are so many women, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, that while dating somebody, when he ends up choosing the woman that had the impact on him, and you're the woman that was putting in all the effort, there are so many women that will be like, but I did this, and I did that, and I did this for him, and I did that for him, and I did this and that and that, but you don't get a gold star for effort.
And let me give you an example. There are so many times, and I know you guys have heard of this, there are so many times where you have poured into the relationship, and you have done so much. I'm talking about if he had kids.
Yeah, but wait, is it a relationship or are you still dating?
Well, hey. Well, let's see. Yeah. Well, that is the thing. But what you do is, in the beginning, you give it all, right? You start doing it all.
Yeah.
And that is, doing whatever for the kids and doing whatever, and you initially do all of that, and that is your effort, right?
Yeah.
But then they wind up. You do all of this. You learn them. You learn them, like he said. You study them. You give him what you think he wants or needs, and then he chooses someone else.
Yeah, the one that.
Have you ever heard of that before?
The one that made the impact. He chooses the one that made the impact.
But he chooses someone else, and you literally are sitting there like, what didn't I do?
Right.
What didn't I do?
And then you start counting up all your effort.
And you start counting all your effort. And you start saying, but I was this, and I was there, and when he wanted to talk, and I fixed this, and I fixed that, and I fixed this. And guess what? He chose somebody else.
With the impact.
The woman with the impact. Now, I don't know what the impact looked like in your situation. I don't know that man, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
Sometimes that happens, and it's crushing.
Of course it is.
It is crushing.
Jason,
So, by show of hands, how many people watch football? Or seen a football game ever, Super Bowl, party, anything? Now, impact versus effort. And I love the way you said, Trav, you were talking about how you have to study your opponent. You have to study what the man likes, study what the woman likes, because it's impact versus effort. Now, anybody watch football before, don't nobody care about who had a 3-yard run. Don't nobody care who had a good block. They care about who scored a touchdown. That's the only thing that matters. So whenever you're doing something with the person that you're doing, be the dopest at what you do. Because you need to be scoring touchdowns. You need to be impactful. Like, I'm not going to forget you tomorrow. Matter of fact, I'm going to think about you all day. I'm going to think about you when I go on vacation. Might be in Miami. celebrating a birthday or something. Everybody say happy birthday to Toya. You better be impactful with what you do. Be dope at what you do. Because there's competition out here for everybody.
But
don't be the 3-yard. They want to hear from the men, right? Don't be the 3-yard. So,
give us an example.
you can go flowers for a woman. Keep it simple. Keep it real simple. Now, they say women like flowers, right? You can go to ShopRite and get some flowers from ShopRite. Or you can go online and you see, yo, this is where everybody's getting these unforgettable flowers that don't die.
I have them.
Impactful.
Shout out to my wife.
She's right over there. You know, give a round of applause. Because she is impactful. Be impactful. That's just a small thing. Be the dopest at what you do. Just like Trey gave that example with the mangoes and all. Make sure you are the touchdown and not the little 3-yard run. Because nobody remembers who had a 3-yard run in any game. Be the person that's scoring a touchdown. All y'all are dope. First, y'all ain't clapping up for yourselves just for looking dope. So y'all know what dope is. Y'all know how to be fly and do it how y'all do it. If y'all didn't, y'all wouldn't be here.
To Sean.
Sometimes the way we're calculating the effort, we're calculating our internal conflict as like things that we should get a point for. Like, I don't like to do this, but I'm doing this. And that's why it don't have the impact.
Oh. Can you say that louder? I'm sorry, say that louder because I said this.
So imagine, for example, let's just say me and Toya are dating, right?
Okay.
And Toya has decided at this point in life she does not like to wear heels. They're uncomfortable. They hurt. It's hard to walk, right? Her corns hurt, right? It's a fact. Okay, cool. So we go out to eat, no heels. We go to a concert, no heels. Toya goes to a job interview in heels. She's doing it for the impact. She's not doing it for the impact with me when we go out to dinner. But if she were to do it, she would be calculating it by the effort.
Everybody saying,
Bars.
Okay. Everybody in the audience, where's the microphone? Is there a microphone on your table?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. I want to hear from, can you turn that on? I want to hear from everybody in the audience on what the fellas
Just said.
or what you heard.
get out of that?
Girl, why me?
I mean, you got the mic.
Go ahead. You got the mic, girl.
And you've been on the show.
Go ahead. Say something.
You know how it go.
So that was an excellent example. I will say that because it put a lot of perspective. Because I actually thought about that, not even thinking about this show tonight, because I know I dress like this to go out with my girls. But a lot of times, when I'm going to meet a new guy, I will dress depending. More casual, more subtle on a first meet. So that effort impact was like, I understand it more.
Is that a thing? I'm sorry, because me and my friend Tasha was literally just having this conversation the other day. Is that a thing where women aren't dressing up anymore? What is going on? Because I just want to know. Is that like a thing? What is going on with that?
Not for the first or second time.
Why?
Like the first or second, I'm not.
Why not?
Don't you want to look at it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Pass the mic to Marcus, please. Yeah, and the only reason why I'm asking this is because we literally just had this conversation like 2 days ago, where it's like women are not dressing up anymore. And I don't think so. Go ahead.
I'm gonna answer that question. I think because we're black, because women give too much when we don't. And piggyback on brothers that said what you said, love, most of love is the stuff that you don't want. It's like getting up at 3 in the morning and you get an extra
your job when you really want to sleep. When your wife has working 80 hours but still fixing your favorite food. Those are the things and the qualities that equal love. So that's my thought on it. And I'll go back to the first part. It seems like, ladies, you're past the chosen one for the dude that's popular. You skip the guy, the guy that should be with, to go to the butthead. But he's popular and he's flashy.
You can say the real word.
Asshole.
We grown here.
Dickhead, whatever. Yeah. And maybe, okay, it's when you're young, okay, you can get away with that. But when you get older, you should get more wise.
Right.
Because in Proverbs, it's like wisdom is a woman. So through trials and tribulations, women should be more wiser, especially when they start pursuing their prey. That's all.
Okay. All right. Anybody else from the audience? Effort versus impact? Any thoughts?
Anybody want? Somebody give the mic to this table over here.
Someone
Table right here.
the ladies?
This one right here. Kyra, y'all gonna talk? You said Kyra Fallon? Yeah. What y'all think?
Then Kyra Fallon.
Pass the mic. Somebody talk. We all family.
Go ahead, Fallon.
I'm not in a dating scene anymore,
Right.
but I wanted to know, you say you don't dress up anymore. What are the guys wearing though? They're minimal effort as well. And I want to know from the guys, how do you feel about women not dressing up in the beginning? If you're just wearing casual clothes, should she dress up or like how should she look? And what is effort to y'all? Still didn't give an example of what is effort to you.
Impact.
Well,
No,
yeah, what
she
counts?
wants to know.
Yeah, what counts as effort that makes impact to you?
It's all a comparison.
The regulars. That was thought, remembrance, consideration, action. That was it. He gave the example with the regulars.
Well, I'm sorry. Say it again.
That's the effort.
But
You
what
talked
The
about
thought, consideration.
thought, remembrance, consideration, action.
So we got Toya over here. Happy birthday again. Toya, so it's a lot of ladies right here that cook for men. Matter of fact, a lot of women that feed their men.
Here we go. Go ahead.
What you got? DoorDash, Grubhub, very popular. Burger King, very popular. Toya, what she's gonna do, she's gonna cook from scratch. And she's gonna have all this good food that good grandmama's type cooking for her guy. Early. He's gonna be on the couch slumped. Early. He's gonna remember that the plate that he takes to work the next day. That's impact. It's not just effort, because effort is you can just order something real quick. Now that's good too. It's good. Is it impactful? That's for y'all to think
You're
about.
right though.
So basically, I should be in a relationship
Right.
by now if I keep
I ain't
cooking.
saying it like that.
Is that it? Is that it? Okay.
So, one second. He's absolutely right. Every guy is similar, but every guy is different.
Yeah.
So you can't just go in with a game plan like, all right, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Like that may not mean anything to him. Like if I gave you if I gave you $100 right now, you would let's say you would frown, maybe you're not frown upon it, you'd be like excited about it. But if like let's say a homeless person gave you 10 cents, I'm thinking of the example, mess that up a little bit. But if a homeless person gave you 10 cents or someone 10 cents, you may frown upon it and look at it as if it's not a lot. But to that person, it may be 10% of their wealth. Whereas if I give you $100, you may think I'm better than that person, but maybe $100 represents 0.3% of my wealth.
Right.
So that person gave more. So everybody the impact on that person will be different. So when you're talking to a certain guy, cooking is a good avenue to get us most of the time. But just think about what does that person want? It's kind of hard to figure that out on, right away, because you're trying to make a first impression. But this is why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Like, listen more than you talk. Like, he'll actually tell you how to love him if you're asking the right
That's
questions.
true.
And especially on the first date, one of the biggest things you can do or first dates is to ask open-ended questions. Questions that cause him to give a better answer than yes or no. And then you pay attention to that so that you can give the effort. I forgot what you gave me, touch on. It was consideration, remembrance.
Attention, remembrance, consideration, action.
You can make that very specific if you're asking them open-ended questions to figure out how you can be considerate, how remembrance pertains to your relationship with this particular person.
I want to say that. I just want to say this. Impact for an individual is really individualized, right? So we're not, and I just want to say that. That's
no
clear.
blanket.
There's
There's
no
no
blanket
blanket
because
impact. Not at all.
you could cook, and I love her, but you could cook from scratch and be cooking pork, and the dude is like, I'm vegan. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, you could, you gotta pay attention. It's tailor-made.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I might not care about you giving me food, but I might care about when I need you. I'm a strong person, but when I need you to listen to me.
Right.
Right? That could be the impact. When you walk me through my childhood issues, when you are graceful and and extend me grace in certain areas, that may be my impact, right? Impact looks different for everybody. So I do not want you thinking, oh, well, all I got to do is cook. No, because some people don't even. That's not even a deal breaker for them.
And just to add another step to that, it's like, again, another conversation I think I was having with one of y'all, I don't know, one of these days. Not only is impact individualized, it's also from that person, what this person is doing. This person and this person can be doing the exact same thing, kind of what Trev was saying, but I feel it more from this person than I do from that person.
The genuine.
So just because this person and this person have the same characteristics doesn't mean I like this person just because they have the same both of them because they have the same characteristics. I may like one and completely not like the other one, and they have the exact same characteristics. So it's different. Like everybody is different, and what's impactful to one may not be impactful with another person.
Because you ever, I don't know if anybody in the room has endured this, but you kind of are in a relationship or you are dating someone and they get married, they get engaged or they get married later on, and you be like, well, you start, and women do this all the time because I've done it. You look at the female and be like, I don't get it. You be like, but look, she not even that cute. Like, no, we do that. Let's be real. Don't leave me out here by myself. We do that, right? And we'll be like, I don't get it. But what you gotta understand, it's more than the beauty that you think, right? It's more than what she looked like. It's what she gave. It is the impact that she had on this individual's life for whatever reason. For whatever reason. And you may not understand it for the moment, but it is whatever that person at that moment needed, she rose to the occasion. And that is why he was like, she the one.
So can we talk with Coach Trev a little bit as to why sometimes we as women and sometimes as men continue to give that effort,
Yes.
when you're not getting any results from it?
Delusion, yeah. I mean, I think everyone has their own story. Like, when I say story, meaning the people that you dated, the TV shows that you watched, the music that you listened to since you were 2 or 3. So all of that stuff has made you who you are. Like, you didn't just pop up and have this personality. There's some stuff that you are thinking right now that's part of your way of thinking that you got when you were 5, and you still have it right now. As a grown man and woman, not saying there's anything wrong with that, it's just you still have that since 5. I have a 10-year-old now, and I can see some of the things. I'm a little critical of myself. I'm like, wow, I can see how maybe how I parented has him thinking this way. How can I help him shift that? It's not a horrible thing, but how can I help him shift that? But I know, like, man, like, I help make that personality. So I think sometimes maybe it's fear of failure. Like I'm not gonna lose again. I can't, I'm not starting all the way over. Maybe it's insecurity. Like you're chasing this person because maybe you see something in them that will make you feel better about yourself, or maybe they're a worthy goal because other people like them. A lot of times it could just be you have this unrealistic expectation. Again, going back to what you saw, heard, and experienced. Maybe you watch so much TV or certain shows that exemplify what you want, and you're willing to pursue that at any cost. You don't even try to think about the road to get there. You just, let me just try to put somebody in this position by any means necessary. Those are some of the first things that came to my mind. Maybe the other thing is, I'm gonna use this word, it kind of already described it, but desperation. Like, I don't, depending on the age of the person, I feel like they're trying to throw a Hail Mary. Like, they're like, listen, I'm gonna go for it. Like, I gotta make this work. But, at some point, you gotta realize that the only way to kind of really have what you want is to be super intentional about it, but not to the point where you're gonna force something. You have to balance logic and emotion to a degree. Like, your emotions are going to be on autopilot, but how you think is going to be what determines your life. Actually, what you think really often influences how you feel anyway. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to be very logical. I know it's in society they say men are logical, women are emotional. I know that's not 100% true, but you know what I mean. Like that's I'm not being demeaning when I say that. It just comes across as men are more analytical, women may be more emotional. But as women, I think, especially if you're trying to find someone that you want to spend, you said 21 years? That's crazy. I'm 14. I thought I was doing something. But 21 years, I mean, think about that. Like, you have to be super intentional about that. Like, you can't feel your way to that. You want to have good feelings along the way, but you have to think, when I say logical, I mean, you have to understand that logic, encompassing science and all. I mean, I'm not saying you gotta go study science, but when you think of logic, you're including the study of science. And part of that is how you feel. Like the way we feel sometimes, like if you meet somebody and you get butterflies, that's not necessarily some mystical thing. That's like a chemical reaction your body has, similar to when you have chocolate. So you meet somebody that gets your heart pumping, and now you think that, oh, I gotta pursue this at all costs. You gotta pause for a second. Like, just because I feel a certain way about this person doesn't mean that I'm supposed to give 1,000% effort. That doesn't mean that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point right there. And I feel like sometimes, oh, sorry, Tashawn, go ahead. Oh, I feel like sometimes as women we think we understand what men are thinking, or we think we know, or we think we get it, and I think we don't, clearly, right? And so go ahead, Tashawn. I wanted you to do a lot of assuming. I wanted you to make your point because then I wanted to ask another question. Go ahead.
When it comes to the repeated effort, when you don't feel like you're getting results, in some instances it has to do with like time and repetition are a component. You gotta do some things over and over and over and over and over again. That it's not like you're not supposed to have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, how many people here have cooked oxtails from scratch, right? First time you cook oxtails from scratch, you feel accomplished because it's a lot. That don't mean you're good at making oxtails. You gotta cook them again and again and again and again with all that effort and all them ingredients and all that process until you get good at it later. Yeah. Some things you're not good at yet.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's harder for us when we feel like we're at a big old age to accept I'm not good at a thing and I'm gonna have to put in 10,000 hours on this thing when I feel like I've been putting in so many hours on how to be good at relationship. Yes. I should be able to just turn the key now. Sorry, you ain't good at oxtails. We all have those things that like we gotta put in. You have to put in the effort and the time for that thing, especially when you're talking about with a new person.
Yeah. I wanted to just prove a point here, And fellas, I'm calling y'all out because, like I said, the youth had mentioned to me before that we needed to hear more from the fellas. And so I want to go around with, and I'm going to go around the microphone with the fellas. Hey, everybody, that's Coach Trez, everybody. I wanted to go around, and I want to start with the fellas. And a lot of you are married in relationships. When you were dating, what did you want women to know? Trev, I'm starting with you. What did you want women to know? There's, like, you're like, all of these women, before you met the love of your life here, you said, all of these women are like crazy. They all are doing what? What did you want women to know?
I didn't notice at the time, but just being older now and talking to so many people and just kind of listening to so many other people who have challenges and just kind of looking back at my own. Mm-hmm. My mother didn't raise me. Mm-hmm. She was gone out there, still alive, but gone. Mm-hmm. I think, and then my wife exemplified this. I think I would want women to know that I needed a certain amount of attention from a woman that I wasn't able to get from my mother. I got from my grandmother,
Thank
my
you for
aunts.
that.
Yeah.
But
Thank you for
but
that.
I didn't know I wouldn't have said that because I didn't even think that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, Jason.
That's deep.
That is deep. That's very deep.
And I want them to know
Yeah.
I got my own life.
Mm.
Oh God.
Okay. No, that's good.
Now,
Go
like,
ahead.
I got my own life now.
Yeah.
We about to embark on a life together,
Yeah.
even if we ain't married, relationship wise.
Yeah.
But understand,
Oh, you're in
I have my things that I like to do by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta respect that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people don't respect that you have your own life and things that you like to do by yourself.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do things together.
Right.
That's gonna happen as well. So
Okay.
sometimes you can deal with a woman and they might not have felt like, oh, why are you not with me right now? I
Right.
gotta handle this.
Okay.
You know?
To Sean.
I know when you're lying.
Oh.
Like, I would have liked women to know that I know when you're lying. And I know that you're lying to yourself
Shots fired.
first. And if I let this ride, you are absolutely going to hold on to this lie. But I know you're lying. Fucking liar.
And this the thing. This the thing. Women think they're good at lying. Women think they're good.
Okay, all right, Tashawn. Tashawn said, I know when you're lying. All right, I'm coming over here to you. No? Not yet? I guess.
Not yet. Not yet.
You gonna come back?
You still trying to take it in?
Nothing?
Hold up, this the problem we had last time. Fellas, we
I know
need your
we wanna
voices.
we need kill. Really?
Like, come on now.
Okay. How many years y'all been together? How long? How long has it been, Crystal? 21. Another 21 years right here, okay? Another 21 years. Y'all, these are my cousins, so that's why I'm getting one of them. I'm making them talk anyway. Mike, before Crystal, what is it, 21 years ago, what is it that you wanted women to know?
Y'all need to take more
Toya, can I say what we in a group chat? We had a meeting, right?
Yes.
And this is what we said in our meeting. They said they want to hear more voices of men.
Yes.
And I said the men do not want to mess up the booty later on that night. They want to have a good time when they go home. I got some nice gentlemen all here, and don't nobody want to mess up.
You don't want that. They don't want that long guy.
Nah, they don't want that.
All right,
Like,
I'm gonna come back.
So that's why the men. So ladies, can they have some grace, maybe? If
Yeah.
they
Yeah. All right,
say
I'm gonna come.
a truth pass tonight.
I'm gonna come back to Akil. I'm gonna come back to Mike. Marcus,
Yeah, that's why I was scared.
Want me to know? Go ahead.
You don't want to. You don't want to.
Huh? What was the question? What is it that you want women
What
to
do you-
know
well, yeah.
when you were still dating, before marriage?
I was horrible. I was
Oh God.
Now you see why I left it alone. homie. I'm with you.
Mike said he was hard. You said he was horrible?
Pass the mic. Pass the mic.
Oh, he's a whore.
No, it's nothing I'm proud of. Actually, it's a negative thing. It's shameful.
You wanted the women to know that?
Did I want the women to know
Just
that?
asking what,
No, I'm
what
saying
women
in
to
He
know.
was
general,
saying he
but
couldn't
to answer
pick
your
it, he was
question,
a whore.
I was always, it's weird, I was always honest. I said, you don't want to know the answer, so don't ask me. Honest to God, I've always been upfront. I never lied to a girl. I just told her, don't ask if you don't want to know.
Well, that's a good
Can you handle that? And there are relationships like that. If you can deal with that, to each his own.
Okay. Lance.
Lance, I'm coming over here to you, Lance.
Lance, you owe us.
You do, after today.
So this is for me. I wish that the women I was dating knew her strength, and her strength would make me weak. You know what I mean? That strength for me is the divine femininity of a woman. You know what I mean? So if you embrace that femininity, that makes me weak, and that makes me
Wow.
more. What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe horrible. You know.
Oh, vulnerable.
Okay. Using your divine femininity, you would have made them better. Hold on, Dennis, let's go.
Yo, but on a more serious note, I always wanted the woman to know basically what I needed to function in a relationship. And it would probably be a short list, a long list, depending on how I was feeling.
Wait.
So you wanted them to pay attention to you more so that they could learn that?
No, not so much pay attention, just kind of know what ticks me up and what ticks me down. Yeah, that's all the simple stuff.
Okay. Mr. Hockaday?
What's going on? I don't know. I think maybe just to expect growth and change over the course of the relationship. I think it's important to check in semi-regularly to figure out how we've grown or changed. If you don't kind of force it, schedule it, you can grow apart fairly easily in a relationship. So it's an acronym they call DTR, Determine a Relationship, where you just figure out where you are. Do you continually align? Do you want the same things? If you don't do that, then you could not recognize the relationship that you started in the beginning. So I think I would just, even though I may resist it sometimes because those conversations, even if monthly, could be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you've changed, or maybe you met someone that stirs you in a certain way, maybe that's something that you should talk to your partner with. But it's very difficult, you know. But if you can start a relationship with an intention to have those scheduled conversations about where are we, how are we feeling this month, this quarter, then I think you have a better chance at creating a relationship intentionally.
I love that. Checks and balances.
Checks and balances. Yeah.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Basically. Mr. Maxon.
So as I sit here and I listen to all of these great observations from these gentlemen, everybody has said what came to my mind originally, but on the surface, superficially, I want a woman to know, or I wanted a woman to know, the simple things. You know, I'm smart, I'm funny, I got money, I can handle it, and even if I don't have money, you can still make it happen. But as time progresses, I think those things evolve and mature, and you want your woman to know that you're going to meet her halfway, that you're going to meet her where she needs you to be, and that you're not afraid to show that vulnerable side of you and to meet her when she's most vulnerable, right? So I think that's something that over time, looking back, right, you ask that question now in hindsight, and I go, oh yeah, all of these things, it's a list. But when you're in the moment, I don't know if you can see that happening. It takes time for you to develop those thoughts, but yeah, I would want to say that. Yeah.
Mr. Samuels, you got something? You got nothing?
Hold on. You know what, Chanel? Go back to who?
To Darnell or Lamar?
No, Lamar.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I say go back is because, you were recently married, and I want to say, and when we talk about effort versus impact, what made you say that's the one? That's important because what's happening is we are not understanding why men are saying that's the one. And I think that's it's got to be more clear. It's not clear.
Okay. So I was asked this question a couple of years ago, and I had the answer right away. I knew exactly why. And so years later, we're sitting here, you ask me this question again. I'm going to give you a more detailed answer. We even talked about this earlier. My wife reminded me of a time when I thought I was cute. And when we first met, and I was very honest and upfront that I had stuff going on. I had just come off of something and I needed, to be me and I needed space, but we could hang out, but I needed space. And throughout all of that ego and arrogance, she continued to be consistent with me and continue to meet me where I was. And in that time frame, I could have, really messed things up. I could have thrown it away. And even through that, she continued to be consistent with me and meet me where I needed her to meet me. And it dawned on me that I am looking at the personification of what God needs me to be, what I need to be, the person I need to be with is directly in front of me, consistently here with me every day. In the ups, in the downs, in the success, in the failure. She was right there, consistent. And so it wasn't one thing.
Right.
It was a consistent string of events that made me realize this is the most important person in my life. And so I would be a fool to not recognize that and meet her where she needs me to be as well. And so that's all I really needed. But it took, for me, and I'm gonna be honest with everybody in the room, it took me time to see that because I had been traumatized previously in other relationships. And so by the time I met her, I was just like apathetic. I was like, whatever, like we can kick it, but whatever. And it was really the work that I was doing on myself that made me go, nah, this is the right person, this is the right time, this is who I need to spend the rest of my time with. So, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Those are the things you need to hear.